Sami's savings tip for today is to review your subscriptions, passwords, and policies. The new year is a great time to review everything you've signed up for, from insurance to magazines. Make sure you're not paying for something you're not using and take this opportunity to negotiate a new rate. It's also important to change your passwords regularly so you don't get caught up in a case of identity theft, which could cost you time and money. Today we're going to be talking about something that if you've been living in Nashville for any length of time, you've most likely heard of, and that's the Enneagram. I'm here with Barbee, my guest for today, who is an Enneagram coach, and dare I say expert? Am I allowed to say that?
No,
word,
okay. But I'm a huge fan.
I'll use it because I think it's so interesting that the Enneagram today is something that so many people are talking about, but there's so many misconceptions about it as well. So can you just help us break it down? What is the Enneagram actually?
The Enneagram is a very, very old tradition. They think it dates back to the 4th or 5th century.
Wow.
So it's really ancient.
Okay.
Today, it's kind of a really brilliant psychological system that teaches 9 different stances for the ways that we meet our lives that are very much related to kind of the developmental years from our childhood.
Interesting. And I think I'm glad you said that too, because I've taken a few tests. I'm not going to say what I am because I'm not sure yet, but I realized that what I first thought I was actually more of what my dad I think would have been, which is who I tried to be most of my life. And then when I listened to The Road Back to You, which is a book you've I think recommended before, yep. It talks about who we are as children in that, and that's when I started to recognize more of that. So how do you get into realizing what number you are?
Well, let me just dispel the first myth, which is no one can type you.
Okay.
It's not about kind of external behavioral tendencies.
Okay.
It's really about what's happening on the inside,
Interesting.
which you said beautifully. So
Thank
this
you.
is very much a personal experience, and it's about really paying attention to what's happening inside of you and how you meet the moment from there.
Why do you think it is that we keep hearing about it? Why is it, you said it's been around forever, why now is it all the rage, or at least it seems like it to me?
So there have been kind of like different moments throughout history that it kind of came to the forefront, but it's really, I think, taken off because since the fairly recent advent of neuroscience, we understand the brain better. So it's really only been in the last decade that there has been kind of evidence to validate the system from a scientific perspective.
Okay. So can I just ask, why do people keep trying to label me? Why am I walking up to people and be like, oh, you're a 3? Like, what is that? Why is the need to do that?
I think that this system is so accurate and so exciting because it helps you understand your life from a different perspective. I always say it kind of helps you rewind the tape of your life and puts it in a grid that's workable. I think people get really excited about that, and then they want to share it with everyone else.
Okay.
So it's kind of, I think, just a habit that develops when we get excited.
Yeah, and I think I have one of those personalities where I hear something and I dig into it and I go crazy, and then it overwhelms me, so I pull back and I meet some of those people that are trying to type me or won't talk to me unless I tell them my type, and I go like this. So where do we make this part of our practical everyday lives?
I think really applying it to yourself first.
Okay.
My joke in Nashville is that everybody reads a book and then writes one. And we kind of skip over the really necessary part of kind of seeing how these patterns and tendencies show up in our own kind of day-to-day life.
That's wise,
so really keep it close to home.
Yeah.
This is for your growth and development first.
What else are we getting wrong about the Enneagram? Are there some other things?
We only
have a short show, so anything else that you feel like someone that maybe hasn't heard about it? What are some other myths or things we're doing wrong?
I'm a little bit of a purist with this system, so I really say learn from a reputable source. And I kind of tend to stick with the 2 top training schools, which is the Institute New York and then the Narrative Enneagram. Enneagram Worldwide is their website, and I did my formal training with them.
And you have an event coming up as well where people can go to learn more, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that.
I'm bringing Peter O'Hanrahan, who's one of the most veteran teachers in the field. He's got 40 plus years of experience, and he's coming in January 17th and 18th to teach on the Enneagram in relationship. and that's going to be at Scare It Bennett.
And that's, I would love to do a whole show on just what does this mean once you figure out your own number, maybe your spouse's, friends, how does that look in relationship?
Absolutely.
We don't have a ton of time today. Tell people how they can find you and learn more about what you do.
Best way is on my website, which is just evanbarbee.com. And my Instagram handle is the same, @EvanBarbee, and I love to kind of hear from people. I teach quite a bit regularly in town.
Great.
So
Evan,
I'm around.
thank you so much. Thank you for
course.
clearing up some of those misconceptions, I think encouraging us to learn more. Make sure you check out Evan Barbee on Instagram and check out the event she mentioned as well. Thank you, Evan.
Thanks, Sami.
I just have so much more in my head now.